Hi everyone, it's me, Ernest here, or Sailor Earth here. And today I know that I am not the Sailor Earth that everyone was onlooking. If you go onto Euro and put in Sailor Earth, you will see many or sundry Sailor Earth's films. A lot of them are going to be women. A lot of them are going to be already shape shifted into being sailor fighters or sailor keeper or whatever. Um, but none of them are going to be me. Now, a lot of folks are going, a lot of folks are going to say, well, there is no Sailor Earth. And yes, they would be right as far as Sailor Moon, the film, the drawing shows, the drawing films, the plays, the books, whatever, the film games go. Now, I, being the only man, well, I'll take that back because you got the Sailor Starlights and they were men too. So, anyway, when I became Sailor Earth, and this happened in 2008 YL, there was a lot of, I already knew I was going to be Sailor Earth. And at one time I had this stretch, I guess, this dare to see if folks could make a song for me or how it looked like when I shapeshifted. Haha. Well, we'll just say the films that folks made on that were cool themselves. And a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership were open minded to me being, a sailor fighter, and some were not. When I first became a sailor fighter, and this is after I spent some time being Sailor E, as I called myself in the 4-1 Reichs, before I came to Dawnland. When I first showed up, no one knew who I was. Now, keep in mind, Luna and Artemis were getting news about this new or last sailor fighter, but at the time, no one knew who I was and if I even, and what kind of strikes or might that I had. So, all my friends, Amy Ray, Lita, Mina, Darian, Rini wouldn't come back until years later, but this was like before she would come back. And they were in some fun fair. Well, they were shape-shifted, all right? They were Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver, Sailor Mars, Sailor Red World, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Big World, Sailor Venus, Sailor Hellas World, and Tuxedo Max, even wear hide. I came in through my white rose, which I do froze from time to time, but then I just stopped doing it. So I showed up, like Sailor V did, and stopped Mephistopheles, who was the first Wicker of Hell at the time, who was working for the King of Hell, Lucifer, to get these Might Stones from folks. And the belief was if he got these Might Stones from folks, Lucifer could get out of hell, Mephistopheles would get his kingdom back, and, well, the deal never really showed itself, now did it? And a lot of folks might say, you call yourself Sailor E, right? Does that mean that you are offshooting from Sailor V or Sailor Venus or Sailor Hellas World? Yes and no. First off, I didn't really have any film games made out of me, to tell you the truth. There wasn't a Sailor V film game, or if there was, I don't know if there was any Sailor E film game in the game middle. I mean, I've been in there many times, and I haven't seen one. I mean, there might be one now, but when I was first Sailor E, there was no one. And I don't think there was a film of me, because as you know, in Sailor Moon, there was a Sailor V film or drawing film that was being made, and Nephrite had gone after one of the drawers to get the might from her. And as we all know, we know how that one played out. Now, if there was a Sailor E drawing show in the Sailor Moon world, then that did come out, but that came out years later, and it didn't really get a lot of things right about me. First, they I don't know, I came from the 4-1 Reichs. They got that right about me. But as far as my behaviors went, I don't know. See, I didn't really tell anyone what I did when I was Sailor E in the 4-1 Reichs. Kind of like how Mina didn't really tell anyone that much what she did in the 4-1 Kingdom as Sailor V. So there's a lot of freedoms being taken, you know? And when I went to be with the outer sailor fighters, or the inner sailor fighters, or the inner sailor fighters, I was welcomed with open hands. I was worried that they would not be so welcoming of me. Why? I don't know. There was this fear that I wouldn't be welcomed. And Serena welcomed me. And so did Amy. And so did Ray. And Lita. And Mina. And Darian did. Hell, Rini did when she showed up. Like, oh God! By 2010, while Rini showed up, so you know how that was. And Amara, Michelle, and Tristan, Ataru, and Calvin, well, they also welcomed me as well when they got to meet me when they showed up from time to time to help fight. And he's in Jordan, Dustin, and Jillian, the Sailor Starlights as well. So there you go. And Cockaboo, whatever her name is. Now, a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership will say, well, didn't Robot Chicken do something once? Tool Chicken did do this skit. I don't know which following, and I don't know what following of the show it came from, but there was this skit, I guess, where they were all in some eating hall of some shop somewhere, I don't know, and then some fiend took over someone, and everybody shapeshifts, and someone says he'll be Sailor Earth, and then they say you can't be Sailor Earth because, okay, this is Sailor Mercury, Sailor Quicksilver saying that you can't be Sailor Earth, and he says watch and learn, and he becomes Sailor Earth, and it's okay, what's your might? And he says all the craft and skills of Earthlings. And then he says some kind-hating shit, and they say you can't say that, and he goes, is kind-hating still a thing? It is, but it's something to be ashamed of. Then he gets beat up, he hits his staff, and it knocks down this pipe or this way, and all the blow, all the dirty, all the things from the bathroom flow into it, and they say, oh, well, the eating room will never can't be lived in for like a month or something, or a week. And then he says something about like, yeah, well, I own all this shit, and that doesn't know how it works. And he goes, yeah, tell it to the sea when you have a ooze spill. And then Sailor Moon feels bad about this, but then she gets over it and says, can I get in on some of that? And see, that's where they took some freedoms from. That's where they took freedoms from, because they didn't really truly know how I behaved or what I said or did. So they took some freedoms from that. All right, that's the end of this film. Give it a like, share, and playlist it, and I'll see you later.